Hey Nick, we need a tagline for the podcast.
No.
Real life opinions. Movie reviews told by fans and not critics.
Talk to the hand.
Well, we're back again, guys. Laura, nice to see you.
Thank you.
Corey, you want to tell us what our big thing is today?
So, I don't know if we kind of touched on it last week or not, but we've decided that every second week we're going to have a theme to our podcast. So not a specific movie.
Every second week of the week.
Every second week of the month. Correct. Thank you. And this week, since we just did Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, what's a better time than any to do a theme of Should It Die? And we will be talking about the Terminator franchise.
We're going to have to work on some music. Be like, should it die? Should it die?
We'll let Jeff do the singing.
Hey, if you guys want, send it in.
Yeah,
Let me know what you think. Make your own theme. Send it in to us.
There's like 3 listeners.
Yeah, well, that's 3 people I expect something from.
Lisa, we're talking to you.
Yeah.
So this is a really interesting topic, I think. Like, you know, the Terminator, we can all agree that Terminator 2 was its peak, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, like there's no...
Which sucks when there's, 6 movies made.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Star Wars, how people say, like, oh yeah, well the first 2 were good, and then, like, it kind of went downhill after Return of the Jedi, right?
That's going to be a whole different podcast, because I got a lot to say about that one.
You don't even like Star Wars.
They sucked! Shut up, Corey.
But that's not what we're here to discuss. We're here to discuss. So, Laura, let's start with you. I know you're discussing, and we'll have final thoughts at the end of this. But Laura, should it die?
Yes.
You can have more than just yes.
Well, you asked
can't
a question, so I answered it.
I'm not cutting a check for yes.
So,
yeah, see you,
yes.
folks. We're done for the night.
Right? Yes, it needs to die. Reasonings, there's so many reasons on it. The storyline peaks in the second one. You can't argue that it doesn't. It peaks.
They essentially continue the storyline, so thus it's not a peak if there's other movies with the same storyline.
See, the second one is basically a better version of the first movie.
Yeah, same storyline, but slightly different.
Yeah. There is an argument to be made, albeit bad execution, that the movies after 2 actually continue the story better, except for 3.
I'll give you that one.
Let's not talk about 3.
We don't talk about 3.
Technically, if you go that way, 3 is the ending to it all.
I can't remember 3.
Wow. Yeah, 3. Well, no, because Salvation, they go to the future, and that's where Salvation takes place. And 3 is where the world actually ends.
Yes.
So, like, a post...
Right.
It's actually, the first 2 are leading up to that. Now, they take out one of the main characters for 3, and I hated the actor who played John. So
Nick Stahl.
Therefore, after 2, it needed to die.
2 did have a natural conclusion. Like, we stopped Judgment Day.
Yes.
Well,
they
depending on the ending of 2. Because 2's original ending was the playground scene with adult John and Grandma Linda, or Sarah, I guess, and the kid there. But then they redid it to the Black Highway scene. And James Cameron himself said he chose that, not just to bring more sequels, which is obviously in the back of his mind, but he said the tone met the movie more than the happy ending. But I don't know. As a fan of Genesis, which I know I'm a minority.
Shower this man with booze.
Yeah. Both Genesis and Dark Fate essentially are requels, where they take part 2 and they make it a sequel and then try and end it. But then they do Dark Fate, which takes the ending of part 2 and makes it end. And
Dark Fate kind of gets shits all over too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was. Hey, young John saved the world in part 2, and now they're in Mexico celebrating, and oh no, he's dead.
Yeah, like
spoiler.
For anybody who hasn't watched it.
Yeah, why are you listening to this?
Yeah,
watch it and come back and re-listen to this download. Then we get more views too.
This is like when we were worried about spoiling Kingdom of Crystal Skull. Nobody cares about Dark Fate.
Yeah,
nobody cares.
That's because after number 2, it needs to die.
I mean,
it really did.
There were
hit its
parts
peak.
of Dark Fate that were good. I wasn't like the concept was cool of the Rev 9 Terminator, but it just didn't fit the series in my opinion. I liked what they did with Arnold. I thought that was a neat touch, and it made sense because he was a learning computer. But having a wife who doesn't know you're a ton of steel under fake skin, what the?
How do you not notice? Like, oh my god, my husband's a really heavy sleeper. Like, but he like sleeps through anything. Like, no, he's like,
he's sick in the bed. Yeah.
See, like my other thing too is the cast, just their. I know what I'm thinking, and it's just not there. Like, just the connection that they all have, you can see it.
Like in the original ones you're talking about,
and not even so much the first one, but in T2,
there was a really good dynamic in
and
that
that's
one.
what made Dark Fate good. Is it brought back Linda Hamilton, which was so fantastic to see her again, and then it brought back Arnold. So essentially.
So
it's
it
a natural.
essentially makes number 3 in Genesis.
No, it does. Three through 5 were completely voided out because of Dark Fate.
Does Salvation just always happen anyway, or have we just all forgot about Salvation?
We're just not talking.
Salvation does
so.
not exist.
So, Salvation doesn't exist.
Salvation
because
was one of those movies where Sam Worthington played half something else. Oh wait, you mean like the other 2 movies he did, like Avatar and Clash of the Titans?
Right.
No.
Well,
that bothered me.
But he did those movies afterwards, didn't he?
They were all around the same time.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Christian Bale fan, and he did not save Salvation.
But leading up, I watched a little bit of the Nostalgia Critic talking about these movies, and his big joke was, "I'm John Connor in Through Salvation." Like, yeah, but what's your personality? I'm John Connor. Well, yeah, but like, what are your hopes and dreams? I'm John Connor. That was like the whole joke.
Yeah.
Like Christian Bale was just like. And had no personality in that movie, which in hindsight's true. What's
really funny is Bryce Dallas Howard, in my opinion, not a great actress. Sorry if you're listening.
She's not listening.
She's not listening. But she's always been a bad role in a great movie. This movie, no. Like Spider-Man 3, she played Gwen Stacy. Yeah, right. But it was fun enough. The movie, it was just she was not the reason.
I am a Spider-Man 3 supporter. Her Gwen Stacy was bullshit.
Yeah, and Jurassic World, absolutely stellar Jurassic Park entry. She was not the reason.
You know what? I didn't mind her in that. Like the high heel running thing bothered me.
Yeah, right. Running away from a T-Rex in a hill. Oh, that's how it works. Okay.
But that wasn't really her fault. Like, I think she did an okay job.
Yeah. But yeah, so normally, like, I guess Lady in the Water, I think she was nominated for that. I don't think she won. She might. Anyway, but yeah. But other than that, meh. Meh.
So
that's a good answer.
We haven't really had like a good rating on these movies. Like, obviously, Terminator 2 is top tier, right? It's undeniable. Yeah. Followed directly right behind Terminator 1.
Yes. And then I would say next would be Dark Fate.
Really? I thought you were going to go with Genesis.
I know. I honestly, Genesis is my favorite movie after those. But as far as being a well done movie, it would be Dark Fate. Like
they're unnecessary movies.
Absolutely.
Now,
that's bringing us to our theme. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, this is why it should have died, right? But my theory is that they should let the series cool off for like 10 to 15 years, kind of like akin to like Halloween or something like that, or even like I know it wasn't popular, but Friday the 13th, you let it cool off, right? You get away from Arnie. Okay?
Yeah, they have to.
So, fun fact on that is they tried.
Well, yeah, I guess Salvation they didn't have Arnie.
Well,
Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Oh yeah,
God, I love that show.
Right.
You know what? I've only ever seen the first season, but the first season was really good.
It was, and then how? The second season had the cliffhanger ending that was never resolved, which was too bad. Lena Headey was a fantastic Sarah Connor. So
we haven't even talked about Sarah, because Sarah Connor Chronicles is a good argument that it should actually continue going.
That's the only reason, in my opinion, that series didn't continue is because it was Fox.
And Fox just loves canceling your favorite science fiction movie.
I mean, Firefly, cough. But anyway.
And if you're wanting to continue it on, like say going into number 3, they fully could have continued with the TV series leading up to How Does Sarah Die?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of, she had cancer, passed away.
You know, it kind of bugged me how, so they kill Sarah in number 3, or off-screen her, and then, Dark Fate, she just comes back. But I know,
But they said right off the bat, 3 through 5 was not canon for 6. But it's like the new Halloween movies. They continued after part 2, and nothing after that. And that was 3 through 5 as well. Yep. We're not canon.
If you're going to do that, just start anew.
Well, technically, with the Halloween ones, it's actually 4. And
there was elements of 4.
No, because number 3, she has the daughter. She's not in it, but she has the daughter. The newer Halloween, she's got a daughter, not a son.
Okay. I don't know what we're talking about here, people. I don't think
he sidetracked me.
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen a single Halloween movie.
That's right, they're fun. So James.
I have seen H2O.
Really? That's your benchmark?
Out of all of them, that's the one that's null and void.
Fun fact: that was Josh Hartnett's first movie.
Right, yeah, but still,
that's probably why I haven't seen the rest of the Halloween movies.
Yeah. This is Halloween. Boy, this sucks ass.
Right? Really?
There was a brief moment in time in the late 90s where Scream and I Know What You Did for Last Summer were all the rage, and I was into that kind of movie. Yeah. That's when H2O came out.
And it killed it?
Yeah, it was kind of okay.
Busta Rhymes. So James Cameron sold his rights to the series after part 2, and while apparently all the other directors asked him for permission, even though he didn't have to give it, he never had control. So he's like, do what you want to do. It's your story now. And they did, and unfortunately they shouldn't have. But bottom line is James Cameron has the rights back. So, should it die? Maybe. However, in James Cameron's hands, if he was to, let's say, reboot it, because he wants to. He said he wants to do it in a couple more years when he finally figures out what's going on with AI, because he is concerned with the amount of AI in this world right now. So,
and we all of us really should be. It's getting. I didn't realize how scary things were right now, but it's kind of terrifying.
Well, the AI movies. Did you hear about the music? They're putting out songs from dead artists, brand new songs, but it sounds like the dead artists, and they're making money off of them, which is
crazy.
Bullshit.
That's crap.
So.
I kind of feel bad for the writers' strike right now in Hollywood.
Yeah, and this is part of the reason too. So
AI is going to take all those guys' jobs. They're going to come back from the strike, and it's going to be like, "Hey, we don't need you guys."
Yeah, no, humorously saying that Terminator Salvation, at the end of the movie, they had the assembly line of T-800s with the skin on them, and then they got Arnold, quote unquote, to fight Christian Bale there. And it was all CGI, and it looked amazing. So you swore it was young Arnold from 1984 fighting him. And same with then at the beginning of Genesis, when
he kills
current day Arnold goes back to 1984 and kills 1984 Arnold. And it looks like it's real, but it's not. So they're doing a great job. I mean, CGI was kind of the breeding ground for AI, right? So it's now AI being what it is intelligence. It's starting to think. So it's scary.
I can think of those stupid China dolls right now.
What China dolls are you talking about?
They're artificial intelligence. Actually, on Netflix is a movie called Megan.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to watch that movie.
It's on Netflix, and it is about a doll, life size, that is AI. And just like Terminator, it goes completely batshit crazy.
Wasn't that kind of the premise of the new, like the remake Child's Play?
Kind of. I don't know. The remake of Child's Play.
I watched it begrudgingly, and I don't even remember it. That's how well it sat with me. So
it was horrible.
That's a show that I don't think should have ever been rebooted. I honestly think like that hit its peak at like Bride of Chucky.
It hasn't because the TV series is based on the old series.
And it's great.
It is. And it's Brad Dourif still voicing Chucky.
It takes place
Whereas
after...
even when Mark Hamill actually did the voice of Chucky in the remake, you'd think that would be fantastic, but the movie was not.
But the TV series actually takes place after the last movie with them in the
Seed of Chucky.
No.
Oh, Cult of Chucky. Yeah, right. Yeah, very.
Yeah, Cult of Chucky.
Because Nico was in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it takes place after that, but the TV series is actually killing them. Like, it's a really good series.
No, I actually really enjoyed it. So that's another conversation for another
time. So how is that? I haven't watched the new Chucky series. How is that tied in with AI?
Well, no, I was talking about the remake. I thought was tied in with
okay, the Mark Hamill remake.
Yeah.
So
I also didn't bother with that. I do want to. I have been actually meaning to catch up on the Child's Play TV show.
It's really good.
And Devon Sawa is in it,
but the whole remake with Chucky is, again, it's a miniature Terminator doll is all it is. His eyes glow red. He's got lasers. It's a mini Terminator doll.
The whole thing with the first Child's Play was just like the whole possession.
It was voodoo,
yeah. It was so cool. I thought
it's not a power surge makes the doll go evil.
Yeah, that's kind of you got to do that. You got to make a new franchise. They gotta stop with this whole. Well, I've got a cool idea, but they're only going to let me make it in an existing IP.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. Everybody bitches and says, "Why don't they create their own ideas?" These guys are trying to, but the producer's like, "That's nice. Okay, we're going to make it a new, for example, a Child's Play movie instead." Mm-hmm. Well, no, that's not. No, we're giving you the money, so just shut up and do it.
See, and my thing too, we're talking about reboot, continue it, or kill it. Honestly, my thing with rebooting them is you get these big franchises, and then all of a sudden, we're going to remake them. We're going to do all this crap, and nobody has their own ideas. They're adding their own twist, but it's not their own original idea.
Yeah, but even the Terminator wasn't technically James Cameron's own idea. What he did with it was his idea, but the concept was not his idea.
But
he took, was it a Twilight Zone? Yeah.
But there's tweaking and making your own thing out of it, and then like the new Halloween,
because there's a lot of writers, and this is to do with the writers, right? There's a lot of writers now who have these ideas but don't have the money to pitch them.
Yes.
So there's the lack of money. There's the imparity in payments in Hollywood.
You got to think of the last few blockbusters. I read a thing where this is the first year in well over a decade where the top 3 movie makers weren't sequels, or none of them were sequels. The last decade, at least one of the top 3 movie makers has been some sort of sequel. And when you think about it, 2 of the biggest movies of the year were all known IPs. I guess Oppenheimer was also a known IP because everybody knows about the nuclear bomb.
But was it an IP though? That's just a story.
Yeah. But everybody knows about the nuclear bombs, right? It wasn't a new idea, right?
No. But it's not an intellectual property. It's history.
Yeah.
And Barbie, it was an IP. It was not a movie IP, but it was an IP.
Barbie and Mario are arguably 2 of the biggest IPs in the world.
Yeah. And the box office showed it.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I love Christopher Nolan, but that said, I don't understand why Oppenheimer was so huge. Again, not a bad movie, fantastic director, but really that big of a movie? Wow.
What was the last original idea movie you guys can think of that was like the biggest of the year? Like, I guess Avatar.
That was 2009.
That was 2009.
Yeah.
Yep.
But again, James Cameron.
But, and even then, so not a lot of people actually realize it is like the genres in movies, things go in phases.
This is true.
You're going to have your real life, you're going to have all of this, and we'll see this for 10, 15 years, and then they'll switch.
Well, and the Terminator, while we're talking about it, that's been going since 84.
Yeah.
And they have not had a hard reboot on it.
It'll be 40 years tomorrow or next year.
Yeah. So, like, they still have the original actors from the first two movies coming out in these movies.
Yeah.
They, like...
Now, more just Arnold, but yeah.
Well, Linda Hamilton was in the last one.
In one other one, yeah.
What, still?
Yeah.
Like, the most recent one.
Legacy characters. They talk about in Scream.
Yeah.
They... Scream. We're gonna have to do at least some of the Scream series. The new ones are good, I hear.
I like them.
I haven't watched the latest one. I'll sit down.
I watched it in the theater, actually. It was pretty good. So
I haven't watched a new one since...
The killer reveal was lame as hell. Like, it was probably like my least favorite in the entire franchise, but the movie around it was great.
That was the one in New York, right?
Yeah.
It's streaming now. I'll watch it.
Yeah, it's on, what, Amazon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course it's got to go to New York. All good series eventually ends up in New York.
Yeah.
Look at Gremlins.
Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan.
Right?
That's why they never made
Leprechaun?
Muppets Take Manhattan?
Yeah, Muppets Take Manhattan.
Leprechaun?
I don't remember Leprechaun going to New York. Which one
I
was
just
that
honestly
one?
remember
Oh,
only the
you
first
totally
Leprechaun, so...
The first one was the best.
Didn't they go in the ghetto or something like that? One of them?
Oh, yeah. Leprechaun Back to the Hood or something like that.
Yeah.
And he went to space one time, too, didn't he?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that one.
I just know the first movie was actually kind of fun and had Jennifer Aniston in it.
Yes.
You know what movie I thought was going to be terrible? Was Jason in Space? Was it? I think it was
Jason X.
Jason X. Yeah.
It was
terrible.
I fell asleep in the theater watching
It
that
was
one.
enjoyable. It was stupid fun.
My favorite is the hologram thing where he's like in the woods there with the girls, and these girls are like, we love to have premarital sex and be in the woods. And the very next scene, you see them in their sleep bags, and he's bashing them against the trees and everything. But it was all just a hologram. They were just trying to distract him. So
Jeff needs a culture shock on good horror movies.
I'm not saying that was a good horror movie.
You just said it was good.
Okay. But what I should say was, it was enjoyable.
No.
I have the Phantasm box set, actually.
Those ones are good.
Yeah.
Cheesy, but good.
Well, the first one was genuine, but then, yeah. Angus Scrimm was amazing. So,
But back to the Terminator.
So with James Cameron having it again, Corey, do you think that he should bring back some legacy characters?
no.
Do you think
No, reboot. Not requel, which is bringing back legacy characters, but reboot.
So, Terminator 3, straight up sequel, right?
Yes.
Terminator Salvation, nobody remembers what happened there.
Well,
It was the sequel.
It was
like an in-between.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was in the Terminator universe presents Terminator Salvation.
Yeah, it was the Mandalorian. Well, that's a bad example.
Like,
it was the Ewoks Cavern of Courage of the Terminator.
Why didn't you have gone for a good one like Lion King 1.5?
Was Terminator Salvation good?
I mean, that's fair.
Like if I would have went for Lion King 1.5, that would be presuming that Salvation happened while the other two movies happened and was a good movie.
Okay, but now you have to pick sides because I think Star Wars sucks and Jeff loves them. So
I'm not gonna say that I'm not like the world's biggest Star Wars fan, but I do enjoy the Star Wars.
I like the series, like sorry, not the series, but the the movies, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Obviously, some more than others. I thought Rogue One was one of the most well-made Star Wars movies ever made. But that said, I've never watched The Mandalorian or Rebel War or Clone War, or Rebels or Ahsoka or whatever she's called, or
Mandalorian's worth a watch. It's very Firefly-ish.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's like a space western. I love a good space western.
I can see that.
Then watch Firefly.
Well,
I thought it was only 1.5 seasons though.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I've watched a lot of Firefly. Okay. Your Lion and King 1.5. I have like stop before the hyenas come. Stop. I've got that stuck in my head.
Mission accomplished.
So, like, if Terminator does die, since we're gonna get back on the Terminator topic,
weird,
we're not gonna get like classic scenes like Arnie at a gay bar ever again.
Yeah, it's a sad day, and we will mourn for about a second.
What were they thinking?
They were trying to be funny, and and could you imagine that now in this world?
Oh, you couldn't do that.
Oh my god,
you couldn't do that now. Like, if he tried to do the talk to the hand, like, people would be like losing their shit.
And it makes me smile. But yeah, the stupid star sunglasses.
I kind of loved it though. Like, it was terrible, but it was just like,
it was good for a laugh.
Like, was it less cheesy than the Bad to the Bone in Terminator 2?
No, you're probably right. No.
Who was the worst Terminator, guys? I just want to... Laura, who was the worst Terminator that they ever had?
Worst as in, like, the cheesiest /
well, like,
or
like not like in ineffectiveness, but like when you think of the whole series, like that was a shit Terminator.
Third one. Don't remember her name.
Arnie? My God.
No.
Christina Loken?
Yes. I liked Arnie and...
So hot.
Sucked balls.
She was pretty terrible.
European.
Yeah, I guess I had this mental image of her coming up, but in like an Arnie voice, being like, "I want to suck your balls." Like, what?
Well, without a swear, we just made this an explicit rating.
She was wretched though, right?
She was pretty bad. But I mean, again, John Connor Terminator in Genesis.
John Connor
was
Terminator
awful.
was awful as well, right? Like,
and I don't like
I purposely
Jason.
do not remember that.
Jason something. I forget his real name, but I've never liked him in any movie. He was in that Winchester movie with Helen Mirren. Fantastic movie, but not because of him.
He was the doctor, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's very... That turn in Genesis, like that reveal, I feel like that undermined like the whole series. So if you don't remember Genesis at all,
I'm remembering it pretty quickly. John's dead. They make him into a Terminator, and somebody else is in control of the whole coalition.
It's Resident Evil all over again.
Right?
There's a little holographic thing and everything.
The only difference is it's not in Raccoon City.
Yeah. No, they have like the Skynet as a holographic image, and every time you see it, it's grown older and older and older, and then it ends up being Matt Smith. But whatever.
Right.
So,
yeah, it was Doctor Who, wasn't it? Yeah, I forgot about that. See, that would have been cooler if the AI, if he was the Terminator that came through, and then in the end, it was like, oh, hey, this is the hologram is the Terminator. I think that would have been cooler than John Connor is the Terminator.
Yeah, there was a lot of things wrong with Genesis, but I don't know. It's a guilty pleasure for me.
It felt like a twist for the sake of a twist.
Yeah, like Jai Courtney or Jay Courtney, or however you pronounce his name. It's J-A-I.
Let's just call him Captain Boomerang.
Captain Boomerang, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, but he's never been good. I mean, Captain Boomerang was fun, but Good Day to Die Hard. Who can honestly admit they've watched that movie?
I have seen it.
Yeah.
It's the Terminator Salvation of the
it was awful,
Die Hard movies.
and he was part of that reason. So,
well, and don't they? That's a series that's glad that it's died.
Hard.
Is it the fourth one or the fifth one where one he has a girl and one he has a boy?
No, he has two. They just have one movie starring the boy.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
the daughter is 4.
I know,
the daughter is 4. The son is 5. Because
Okay.
Jay Courtney plays the son, and that's Good Day to Die Hard.
I can't remember 4 and 5 which one's which.
4 is the one with Kevin Smith as the basement dweller living in his grandma's
That's
basement.
4?
Nerd. That's 4. Justin Long.
I always feel like
driving a car into a helicopter in midair.
I always feel like with the Terminator movies, it was just kind of like, okay, first it's an apartment building or a skyscraper. Then it's an airport, which is bigger. Then it's a whole city, and then by 4 it had to be like the whole world.
Yeah.
And was 5 the whole world again?
I see. I barely remember. I think I watched 5 once. I bought it because I wanted to round out my collection. I think I've watched it once. So.
So we've got your vote is Kirsten Locken. Christina Locken?
Or Christiana, actually.
Christiana Locken.
Yeah.
Yeah. And your vote is the John Connor Terminator?
Yeah.
Oh, for me, it's one of those two. I almost kind of want to go with the... You know what? The Sam Worthington Terminator. That was bullshit.
The half and half.
Yeah, that was also a terrible Terminator.
Yeah, it was. Sam Worthington was pretty awful in that movie. So,
but I gotta go with the Christina Locken as the worst Terminator. Like it was.
And it's funny because as much as they were making fun, it seemed like, of Arnold that entire movie, he did some pretty badass things. Like we in the coffin one shoulder,
that was
firing
cool.
the gun in the other arm. Like that was pretty badass. And honestly, Earl Bowen as Dr. Silverman, who was going through psychosis because of part 2, was hilarious.
I was actually really hyped when 3, like the trailers for 3 made it actually look really good. Like, because you had that shot in the trailer with him carrying that coffin. It was like, that looks badass.
But they literally showed all the good parts
in the
trailer.
I love the part where they have the Arnie prototype, and then he's got like the southern accent, and then the one general goes like, "We'll work on the accent."
Yeah.
When you look back on it, like Terminator 3 is, I think Terminator 3 would be my guilty pleasure of the lesser Terminator movies.
The more we're talking about it, the more I'm starting to warm up to it a little again. Because again, when it came out, I loved it. It did, but it fell flat with.
It was the same story for the third time. Like Terminator goes. Tell me if you heard this before. There's a Terminator that goes back in time to kill John Connor, or to kill the leader of the Resistance.
Well, see, that's only really the second time that it's played out, because in the first one, they're going back to kill the mom before John Connor's born.
Yes, I guess you're right. So, but it's all to get the leader of the Resistance.
Yeah, going back in time to remove the Resistance. And I mean, even in Dark Fate, that was still accurate. The only catch was it wasn't John Connor anymore.
Well, in third, it wasn't John Connor either.
Well, yeah, because he was going after Kate, wasn't he? Like the Bryce Dallas Howard character.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or she was going after Kate, I should say.
It was going after his generals, not him.
Because they realized they couldn't take him out, so if they took out his generals, then he'd be not effective.
Yeah. Dark Fate had some cool ideas.
Like I said, Rev 9, albeit a badass killing robot machine, just did not fit the series, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. They had a hard time evolving the Terminator after Robert Patrick. Was it T-1000?
Yeah,
T-1000, yeah.
He was just the liquid metal idea. He was so unkillable in such a thing. And then they kept trying, well, we got to up it now. And they just couldn't.
Which was what made Genesis cool, is they were developing the T-1000 in Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
And then it went into Arnold, and he became half T-1000 after. And that got a little cheesy, but...
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was kind of cool scene. So...
Well, guys, so we're going to do our final thoughts a little different this time. Normally, my catchphrase, I guess. Are we calling it a catchphrase?
I'd say it's catchphrase.
Are we making T-shirts?
I want to make T-shirts.
Sweet. You heard it here first, guys. We're gonna make T-shirts.
Or catchphrase, or
no. It's gonna be real life opinion T-shirts, and all Justice is gonna say is it's gonna have the symbol, and then on the back it's gonna say final thoughts ... and then mine's gonna have the symbol on the front, and then it's gonna be on the back like because I say that a lot. So.
Can we just have Laura's as a like a grunt? Yeah, that one right there.
Just ... That's it.
So let's go with commence. Oh, Laura, you take it off.
We're going with commence, reboot, or terminate.
Commence, reboot, or terminate. What are you sitting?
Terminate.
You're with the terminate?
I'm terminate. The series is done. It's done. You can go further, but it's gonna be redundant.
Okay. Corey, commence, terminate, or reboot?
Reboot. With James Cameron back at the helm and his penchant for creating incredible ideas, and with him wanting to touch on modern day AI, I don't want Arnold. I don't want Linda. I don't want John. I don't want 2029. I don't want 1997. I want a whole new series where AI is going to take over the world, and that's what he wants to do, and I'm so for it.
I'm going to also go with a reboot, but my reboot would be more of a remake, and like I touched on it earlier about how I don't want it in James Cameron's hands. I don't want Arnie any part of it. I want it like 10, 15 years from now when we've all forgotten it, and someone remake the original Terminator movie.
As long as it's not Rob Zombie.
Well,
I mean, I'd watch the shit out of that.
I think of Rob Zombie.
I have like 6 movies of his, so.
Okay.
Could you imagine a Rob Zombie Terminator remake? That'd be freaking crazy.
Badass.
He had me with his movies until he did Halloween, and his wife is so overplayed she can't act.
I enjoyed Halloween. I hated the second one. I'm a huge fan of Devil's Rejects. It's actually my top 3 favorite movies of all time.
The clown at the beginning was the best part of that one.
House of 1,000 Corpses was a lot of fun, but it was just like a giant music video. It was kind of weird.
Don't they have like a festival or something now for House of 1,000 Corpses? No, there's a ride.
Yeah,
it's a ride.
And then 31 is a guilty pleasure of mine. I love 31. I just watched again. I don't remember watching the full time last time, but I watched Lords of Salem, and that's something. And I haven't watched Monsters yet because I can't bring myself to do it.
Oh, is that released already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard he was remaking it, but I never heard anything about it after that.
Yeah, it's because they saturated the American market first before they even brought it to Canada. And when it came to Canada, nobody cared.
See, and my thing is, after what he did to Halloween, I cannot bring myself to watch it.
Well, and it's supposed to be a prequel when Herman met Lily. And
his wife's probably playing Lily. And I'm so done with her.
She totally is, yeah.
Wow, you can't even
lie to me on that
one. I don't think she's a bad actor, but I agree that she's overplayed.
Have we ever covered a movie where a director was sleeping with the leading lady?
Yeah. A few.
Yeah, like all of
them. Terminator.
Yeah, Terminator.
Yeah.
But in that case, she was a badass, especially in T2.
Yeah.
Like, man, she was a badass in T2. So, as much as I would love to see a Rob Zombie remake, I will agree with you. Rob Zombie's probably the wrong choice for this IP. That would be batshit crazy.
That's about all it would be.
I remember hearing... I had to bring up the ride thing because I was listening to an interview with Rob Zombie. He's just like, oh yeah, I think it was Universal.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, we can't release this movie. It's unwatchable. And he's just like, oh, well,
That was House of a Thousand Corpses. I followed that movie on the internet for years. It was like 3 years, and he was introducing characters once a week and everything on it, and it was a ride just following it on the internet, and it wasn't happening. Universal refused to release it, and so he went to Lionsgate and they released it. So
and now Universal has like a thing for it, right?
Well, Universal has a contract with Rob Zombie. It's not so much the movie, but they have a contract with Rob Zombie. Like, he does the Halloween nights every year at Universal Studios. So I think it was natural succession.
He'd be okay at that, but keep your hands off my favorite movies.
So, my thoughts on the remake reboot. Okay. This is my final thought.
Okay.
Your final thoughts?
I'm on my final thoughts.
All right.
Okay. Trying to get through it for your people. Hey, let's get this together. So, I think I've said this 3 times already, but a remake in like once Arnie's gone, James Cameron's gone, and then if they want to continue the series from the remake that they do in 10, 15, 20 years time, then I could see them being interesting. But it would have to be like, if they're not going to let it die altogether, I think it is not quite a shot-for-shot remake of the first Terminator, but like you have you make it a slasher horror again, right? And that's the way to do it.
They can't do scene by scene because that's never worked. Look at Gus Van Sant's Psycho.
No.
You know what? It did kind of work in Psycho, though.
They could do a remake of it and reference the originals. It's still a remake.
No.
Yes.
If I was to have a remake of it, there'd be no reference of any of them. No, I'll be back.
Oh,
no, Hasta La Vista. No, Schwarzenegger. No, none of that. Just, you have this killing machine from the future that is after this scared girl. No twists. No nothing. Just a killing machine after a girl.
This plot line sounds familiar and not Terminator. Just
you have to.
I can't remember the name of the movie, though, but this plot line sounds very familiar.
Terminator 2.
No, not Terminator.
Right.
Yes, it was Terminator.
Not Terminator at all.
Where a killing robot goes back in time to kill a scared girl.
Now that's better.
I said killing robot, did I not?
You said killing robot goes after a scared girl. Like, you sound very familiar.
Well, it's kind of exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Gotta go back in time.
Like verbatim.
Gotta go back in time.
Going back in time.
You know, that should make me think of Back to the Future, but it actually makes me think of Teen Titans Go. Jesus. Have you guys seen Teen Titans Go to the movies?
No.
Yes.
Saw it in theaters with my kid. Fucking love it. Where they like, there's too many heroes. We have to get rid of the heroes, and they go back in time on these like tricycles, and they like, oh hey, baby Superman doesn't need to get off, go on the rocket, throws baby Batman. They like save Batman's parents, and so that he doesn't become Batman. They like put Aquaman in like a 6-pack holder so he dies. It's brutal.
Okay, I kind of want to see this now.
No, sorry. What they do with the Superman one is they save the planet. They save the planet, right? So that he stays on Krypton. And then, so they go back to the present. Everything's fucked up because there's no superheroes, so they go back and undo all the good they did. So they, like, blow up Krypton. They fucking, Bruce Wayne's parents, they, like, put, like, a string of pearls on his mom and then send him down this dark alley to die, and then they cut the 6-pack off of Aquaman.
Yeah, because, I mean, I've watched episodes, and they're funny, but I'm like, I couldn't imagine a full feature length of it, but now I really want to see this.
What's his pickle from, he's Lego Batman. Who's Lego Batman?
Will Arnett.
Yeah, he is Deathstroke.
Oh, yeah?
And he's hilarious. Like, he's just like, mind manipulation, and he's like waving his finger. It's fucking hilarious. But we gotta sign off here. Laura?
Bye.
Corey?
Yeah, you know the drill. I'm hoping these Terminator ones take off. Again, Terminator 2, greatest movie of all time. I expect more listens. This one, honestly, this is what you need to. This is who we are. We are fun. We love to joke about movies. So not handcuffing us to one movie. Not that we ever do in our one podcast, but this just shows how much fun we have doing this. So give us a follow, give us a listen. You got to check these out. So
I do have to add, Jeff. I have to say I love your shirt.
Oh yeah, I'm representing the video store Camrose. For those who don't know, the tears of the past pain a person.
It's so missed my
scars remind us that the past is real.
Oh, but I'm trying to think if there was a movie where we actually stayed on topic.
No.
What about Dial of Destiny? No?
Well, that one more so because we
were trying really hard to do a movie review on that one.
Yeah.
Oh well. Keep sticking the ice, peeps.
Have a good one.
Is that it?